Hi, my name is April Fellman, and I'll be reporting on a week's worth of weather observations for ATM 101 Alaska Weather and Climate. My observations are conducted at my home in Delta Junction, Alaska, in the interior of the state and in the Tanana Valley. I began my observations on Saturday, January 28th, and ended them on February 1st, which is a Wednesday. On Saturday, the temperatures were extremely cold at negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit. And you must keep in mind that the thermometer only reads to negative 40 degrees, so it could have been colder than that. On Sunday, our minimums were still negative 40 degrees, but our maximums reached about negative 34.7 degrees. It warmed up a little. On Monday, we saw minimums in the negative 30s at negative 30.2 and maximums at negative 12.7. The temperature was about the same on Tuesday at negative 30.9 and negative 30.3 as the minimums, and negative 13.2 as the maximums. And on Wednesday, we saw even more increase in temperature, around negative 19 for the minimums, and around 5 degrees Fahrenheit for the maximums. The red line in the chart indicates the times that I took my actual observations at my station, and it follows the maximum temperatures, I believe, because I took my observations between noon and 2 p.m., which is when the sun was highest in the sky, most likely producing the most heat. The barometric pressure dropped throughout the week, starting at 971 millibars and ending at 960 millibars, which is a drop of about 11 millibars. I believe we saw this decrease in barometric pressure because we moved from an extreme cold front and gradually moved into a warm front, and we see the decrease because of the warm front moving in. On Saturday, there was thick ice fog, which made visibility low, and there was not much wind, and it was completely still outside. On Sunday, there was a little bit more wind, about a Beaufort number of 2, but it was irregular, coming from the southeast at about 220 degrees. And you could feel it on your face, and your breath would blow to the north when you blew out. The sky was about half cloud covered with altocumulus clouds that were a light gray color and pretty flat, and they weren't as low as the nimbostratus clouds I would witness throughout the rest of the week. They were about midway between the cirrus clouds and nimbostratus clouds, I would say, that I witnessed. On Monday, there was a significant increase in wind at about a Beaufort number of 8. The wind was coming from the east, and it was very hard to walk into the wind. The flags on the flagpoles were constantly waving, and large trees were in motion. I believe I witnessed nimbostratus clouds on Monday to the northeast and west. They were very low in the sky and a dark gray color. To the south, it was clearer, and I could see cirrus clouds to the south, which were very bright white, and they were wispy, streaky, thin clouds. On Tuesday, there was a light snow, which is the first time we saw any precipitation throughout the observation period. The entire sky was covered with nimbostratus clouds. They were low and, again, a gray color. The wind was very, very slight. I would say it was coming from the south at about 210 degrees, but it was very slight, and the only way you could really feel it is if you licked your finger and stuck your finger out to feel where the cold was coming from. On Wednesday, we had another windy day. About a Beaufort number of 6. Small trees were moving, and the limbs on the larger trees were moving as well. And the smokestacks were blowing to the south, and your breath would easily blow to the south. The wind was coming from the north at about 10 degrees. Again, Wednesday was much like Monday, where there were about 3/4 of the sky covered with nimbostratus, a low, dark, flat gray cloud, and these were to the northeast and west. To the south, again, there were clearer skies with a few of those white, wispy-looking cirrus clouds high in the sky. It was interesting to observe this week because we went from extreme cold to pretty warm degrees, or pretty warm temperature most Alaskans would consider, at least above zero, most would consider that warm. So That was interesting to experience, and the observation period went quite well, with the exception of very numb fingers on Saturday and Sunday.